Hi, we just finished meeting for pronunciation practice on Monday, September 27th. And let's see, we started with hallucinogenic. Lu is secondary stress, so it'll be a little longer. Hallucinogenic, hallucinogenic. And you don't have to say k at the end. You can hold it. So I'm going to put that little mark there to say hold your tongue in the K position. Hallucinogenic. T. And the person who was asking about this said the voice speech recognition program wasn't identifying the T as a good T. So, if that's the case, it could be that you're not using enough airflow. So, you have to hold the T with a lot of pressure, tongue behind the top teeth, and then release it with a burst of air. So, there should be a delay between when you release that T and when your vowel comes on for E. T in slow motion. T, T. So it might be that you need to take a deeper breath, hold the tongue up on the top of the mouth behind the top teeth with a lot of pressure so that when you release it, you have a burst of air. T. There's not the same amount of airflow for a D. You do hold it with pressure, release it, but the delay between releasing the D and starting the vowel is a shorter duration. This is called voice onset time, VOT. D. Tasks, which is weird SKS combination. Tasks. So while I'm making my S, my tongue goes up for my K. Tasks, and just quickly makes a k. Tasks and interrupts the airflow. Early. We were talking about identifying syllables, and this was an example of an E and an A. It looks like there's two vowels, but you only hear one vowel. And it's not even really a vowel because the sound is just making the R noise. But we count that as a R vowel, early. But sometimes the E and the A are next to each other and they go in separate syllables. So you hear each of them. Idea. I should make that capital so that you remember that DE is stressed. Idea. But in the word read or read, the E and the A aren't separate. You only hear one vowel sound. Read or read. So it's one syllable. The rule for a syllable is you can only have one vowel sound. And we have to say sound because English spelling is crazy. So listen for the vowels. Maltreatment. Don't release either of these T's. Hold your tongue in the T position. Maltreatment. Absorb. And for the zorb, remember to round your lips. Absorb. I was totally absorbed in my research. Welfare. Purposeful. Different modes of. So this brought up the question of it looks like an S in modes, but it sounds like a Z. So remember the last sound in the word, not the silent E, is mode, is a D. It's voiced. So if your last sound is voiced, then it will look like an S, but your voice stays on modes and keeps making voicing, and that changes the S to a Z. And I use the dogs and cats rule to remember this. Dog is voiced, so it looks like an S, but it sounds like a Z. Dogs. Cat, cat T is voiceless, so it looks like an S and it sounds like an S. Cats. Series, series. And if you are trying to say the word theories, but you don't have your tongue far enough out, if it's behind your teeth, it could be mistaken for this word, a whole nother word. So series, your tongue is behind your teeth, and theories, it's more between and you have more airflow. Socks, the vowel is ah, so open the jaw and the lips are straight. Socks. And 14 sucks. 14 sucks. The jaw is really high, the tongue is low and pulled back, but you don't even have to open your jaw. Sucks. That sucks. Poses. Poses. Because if this word was by itself, pose, that S really sounds like a Z. Pose. Nope, Z. Clearly. clearly, basically. Don't have to say this K. Basic. Your tongue goes to the K position, basic, but not basically. If you release the K, there's a chance you could have an extra sound come in between the K and the L. So basic, while my tongue is coming back for my K, the front of my tongue is going up for the L at the same time. So it's like clee, clee, clee. And then there's no chance for an extra sound. Undoubtedly, undoubtedly. Depth. You do have to close your lips and make a P to stop the airflow before you open your lips again and let the airflow out with the TH. Depth. Depth. If you don't stop the airflow with a P, it will sound like death. Totally different word. Depth. And then 20 and 21 can sound exactly the same. Ant with the ant. I don't have to release the T. Ant. But 21 and 22 can also sound different. You can say ant or aunt. And the 22 is ah. The jaw is open, ah. And the lips are not back, aunt. And you can use a Y with it for either one, auntie or auntie. Better. Better. We were practicing the flap, which is a D, but it's very lightly touching. So it's better, better, better. And if you have trouble with finding the right position for the American R, try saying a word with an R at the beginning, right after it, like better, red, and don't take any break. Keep your tongue moving the whole time. Better red. So instead of having a more British R, beta, bed, use a D, better red. That'll help your tongue get ready for the red and pull it back more than you would for the R at the end of the word better. And then get shorter and shorter. Better red, better red, better, better. And that will help. World. We always have world. Because there's a lot of movement. It is a weird word. So like where were you? Whirl. As you move from the R to the L, keep your voice going, and that's what makes the roll noise. Whirled. If you don't, we can't hear the L and it'll sound like number 25, word, like you're just going word instead of whirl. The L and D are made in the same place, so you have to hold it all and make the L noise a little longer so we can hear the L. Word nerd. They don't look like they have the same sound, but they do. Word nerd. Idea. Idea. This is another example with two vowels together that are in separate syllables because you hear each of them. Criteria. Criteria. The E and the A are not heard separately. It just sounds like eh. Wealth. Wealthy. Same sound in health and healthy. Uncomfortable. This is the weird MF, comf. Uncomfortable. And then we did this. What are you probably gonna? You can say, what are you? You can change to whatcha or what'ya. Yeah. What you probably gonna do? What are you probably gonna do? What do you think? What'ya, whatcha can be shortened because they're not as important as the question word you're asking. Think, do, watch, eat. Contemporary. Contemporary. Clearest. Tongue has to go very high. Clear. And then back for the R. Clearest. 35. Lose with an oo. Lose and a Z. 36. Loss with an ah and an S. Loss. 37. Same. Lost with a T at the end. Lost. Loose with a oo but with an S. So lose is a verb, win or lose. When we connect it together, win or lose, and we don't usually make a really perfect or, it's more of an winner, lose. And then that sounds like win or lose, which is weird and not a thing, but that's what it would sound like. Um, I'm going to play whether I win or lose. So if you didn't know this was three words, win or lose, you might think it sounds like win or lose. Loss. This is a noun. We say this for sympathy. Sorry for your loss. Lost could be a verb or an adjective. I lost my wallet, or I'm lost. I'm not saying t at the end. Loose. This is an adjective. My pants are too loose. Assume. This is oo. Assume. And you know what happens when you assume, don't you? You make an ass out of you and me. So if you separate the word ass, you, me. So you shouldn't assume because it makes an ass out of you and me. I think that's it. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And if you weren't here tonight, I hope you can join us another time. Thanks.